Hello chess lovers! World Rapid Championship 2018 started with a dramatic incident. In the first round, the reigning world chess champion Magnus Carlsen lost on time in a match against Ukrainian Grandmaster Adam Tukhaev. The time control of this tournament is 15 minutes plus 10 seconds per each move, and it's strange that Carlsen got lost in thoughts and lost on time. Now, without further ado, let's go for the game and see what happened on the board. Tukhaev had white pieces and he opened up with e4, c5 by Carlsen, Sicilian defense. This is becoming his main weapon. As you remember, against Kirana he was also choosing this opening against e4. Knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, and e5. Carlsen goes for Sveshnikov variation, knight b5, d6, and as you remember, in this position Kirana was going for knight d5, but in here Tukhaev chose the main line and played bishop g5. a6 by Carlsen, knight a3, b5, knight d5, bishop e7, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, c3, white is freeing the c2 square for the knight, black castles kingside. Of course, all this is a theory seen many times. Bishop e2, bishop g5, knight c2, knight e7, we have the exchange of knights on e7, after which black is gaining a bishop pair, and let's see, will Carlsen manage to make use of his bishops? White castles kingside, bishop b7 and queen d3. A strange decision by Tukhaev. It was better to protect the pawn with a bishop and also keep the d5 square under control, but in our game we have queen d3, after which Carlsen made a powerful move and played d5. It takes d5 and rook d8. Black rook is coming after the sacrificed pawn, but in return we have c4, and after b takes c4, white offered an exchange of queens. Of course, this could have given white easy chances of drawing the game. That's why, as Carlsen has an advantage, he rejected the offer of exchange of queens. Queen c7 is on the board, rook d1 and bishop takes d5. In return, white won the pawn on a6. Now comes rook a8, queen b5, bishop e6, queen b4, rook b8. Black is still chasing white, queen c3 and bishop f6. Already there are some threats of playing e4 and coming after the pawn on b2. That's why we have rook b1, but anyways, e4 is on the board. Knight d4, queen a7, black is both intensifying the pin and is coming after the pawn on a2. Queen e3, bishop takes d4, queen takes d4, and Carlsen won the pawn on a2. Here Tukhaev responded with rook c1, but let's have a look what if queen takes e4. Actually, this is not a good idea because black can easily gain advantage by playing c3. Here b takes c3 can be met with rook takes b1, and if rook takes b1 then bishop d5. The bishop is starting to chase white queen, which can't protect both the bishop and the rook at the same time. And if queen takes c4 then queen takes b1 check, and black is actually managing to get great chances of winning the game, although that's going to be pretty difficult. That's why after c3 actually white should play bishop d3, but still after f5, queen e5, c takes b2, black has an advantage. But now let's go back to our game. After queen takes a2, as I already mentioned, white played rook c1 and rook takes b2, bishop takes c4, and after the exchange of bishops on c4, Carlsen also won the pawn on f2. Queen takes e4. And now if we have a look at the position, the storm is over and black has an extra pawn, although this is going to be very dangerous to realize. White is offering an exchange of queens, but of course black is rejecting because in that case the rook endgame can be easily drawn by white. Carlsen is still keeping the queens on the board in order to create problems for white. The threat was rook c7, that's why black responded with rook f7, rook c6, rook e2. We have a lot of maneuvering. Carlsen is maneuvering in hope that his opponent will make a mistake. He is still trying his luck and is going for a win. Rook g1, white is preventing the checkmate from g2, rook e3, Meanwhile, we have some more maneuvers. Queen f3. All the time white wants to simplify the position by either offering an exchange of queens or rooks, but of course black is rejecting all those offers. Now this h-pawn is coming, and that can be really very dangerous. g5 by Carlsen, queen d4, rook e4, queen c3, king h6. Black is trying to consolidate his position. Queen e6, rook f1, king g6, and after queen d3, Carlsen went for queen takes f5. He's exchanging the queen with two rooks, but in this case already there is not much black can do because the black king is exposed and white can easily give a perpetual check. With some more checks, the queen is chasing black king all the time, king e5, and in here white made an inaccurate queen f5 move. Instead of queen f5, queen c5 could have been better in order not to allow black king to step on d6 square, after which, yes, this is going to end up in a draw. The queen can always announce checks, but in our game after king e5 we have queen f5 check, king d6, king g2, rook d5, queen g6, king e6, and a strange decision by Tukhaev, king h3. Well, it was better to announce a check from e4 and then from b4, keep on giving checks, but Tukhaev played king h3, after which Carlsen started to burn time. Now, black has to be careful, because if you play something like rook d2, then the queen can become a desperado piece. White can sacrifice the queen, and this is a stalemate. But after king h3, Carlsen thought so long that he hardly managed to put his rook on d7 and lost on time. Yes, guys, it's unbelievable, but the reigning world chess champion lost on time in the first round of the World Rapid Championship. What a turnaround! If we have a look at the position, after rook d7, actually black can create some problems for white, although it's going to be very difficult to realize the advantage, but still black can try his luck. But as I've already mentioned, after king h3, Carlsen hardly managed to play rook d7 and lost on time. Yes, guys, the reigning world chess champion started the 2018 World Rapid Tournament with a loss. Your comments and questions, please. What do you think about this game? I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching and take care.